there was another situation where Yasin Bay, very well respected American rapper, singer, songwriter, also formerly known as Mos Def, had some smoke for Drake. Now, I'm going to tie both of these things together for you if you're unfamiliar with the story. Yasin Bey, Mos Def, was on Complex. Okay? During an interview on the Cutting Room Floor podcast that premiered on January 10, Yasin Bey referred to Drake as pop when asked whether he considered the Six Gods music hip hop. Here's the video now.
Is Drake hip hop?
Why are you doing this to me? Drake is pop to me. In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
It's a great take. It's correct.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Commercial music,
shopping with an edge in certain instances.
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
People who like Drake have shit music taste. Wrong. No, I don't agree with you. I think Drake makes great pop music. And there is nothing wrong with that. Okay? I think you're an elitist, and I think that you're silly because there is always going to be a place for just like bubblegum pop bangers, okay? And that's precisely what Drake's doing. It's fine, it's just popular, so people want to hate. So, having said that, I mean, Drake has a lot of like corny qualities to him, as always. But overall, okay, this part is 100% on the money, 100% true. But of course, a lot of Drake fans got very mad at Mos Def for this, Yasin Bey for this, when he was making a broader point. Brother, this is your worst L take ever. Guys, I am a person who will always say, I like movies. I do not watch film. I do not watch cinema. I watch movies, okay? I have a very normie focused understanding of culture, and I consume it as a normie as well. Do you understand? And the same goes for music as well. It's just like, yeah, he makes pop music 100%.
Of course, I mean, I
it's
get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music.
It's likable.
Likable music, yeah.
It's likable.
But is it? I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move on.
Woo! So many products.
So many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So many barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything. Everything's here. They have everything here. Oh, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing...
Oh, they cut off the best part. That's crazy. They cut out the best part where he says, like, the main point is not just like making fun of Drake. The main point is here.
They have everything here. Oh, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? What happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling, where's the message that I can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from like banging the pom-poms?
So that part is actually the most interesting, most prescient part of this conversation, and perhaps like the actual main point that he's making, which is that Drake makes commercial music for the sake of shopping with an edge for the sake of buying and selling commercial products. Okay. And that is 100% true. This doesn't mean that it's like bad overall, but is this genre defining? Is this life changing? Is there a message beyond buying and purchasing commercial products and enjoying that? No. And that's what he's trying to say. Same with Dua Lipa's music. Exactly. But Dua Lipa, on the other hand, is a pop star. So not a single person is going to turn around and be like, she is iconic beyond like being a pop star. Whereas with Drake, because it's like the question is about hip hop. Because the question is about hip hop in particular, like when you're asking someone like Mos Def, obviously his answer is going to be that no, it is not hip hop, it's more pop. Like there's no message beyond it, right? And you could say that about a lot of artists as well. So Drake is the tortured. Oh, Drake is touted as a voice of a generation. Oh, I thought you said he's a tortured voice of a generation. I was going to laugh at that. Like the generation of what? People that took their uncle's car in their like upper middle class beginnings in fucking Canada. Like, no, obviously. He's in a way, he's not dissimilar to, I would say, Taylor Swift, but regardless is good. You can derive entertainment value out of it and it makes total sense. But in general, I don't think that it's like, it's like mind changing, standing the test of time type shit. So that's simply what he was mentioning, which is why I think this leaning in to the Drew Walls, because like Yasin Bey's take here happened right as like the Drew Wall memes were popping off. So I love that Drake basically leaned into it. Here it is. Is he making the cum juice from Saltburn? He's making the cum drink. Why is the audio so clapped out? I don't know. I don't know why the audio is like this. Like, this is the OG one, though. This is what he gets made fun of for, not for his music. I mean, this pairs along with his music quite well, though. That's the whole point here. I said that man got childbearing hips. Yeah, it's not wrong. Bro, this is, am I crazy? Am I crazy to think that like his house is kind of weird? Like that was my takeaway from this, is that like, yeah, he's got a lot of like, I guess, things that I'm supposed to look at and go, wow, like what a bunch of cool objects that he has. But like, it's such a weird, dark, like edgy hotel looking ass house. Like it just doesn't feel like, it feels lonely. Maybe he's right. It feels lonely at the top. But like it straight up feels like it looks like a hotel. I don't understand it. It's not a McMansion at all, by the way. His house is fucking ginormous, and I think he like carved out an entire city block for something for his house. But you're literally describing your own fucking BG Lamau. What do you mean, my own background? This is my living room.
Drake's
made a video about it. Drake's mansion is both amazing and awful. The coolest thing about his house is that he has a basketball court and an indoor basketball court. It's like pretty fire. I think that's cool. I do think that that's like totally valid. Every part of this, like including the bedroom. Look at this. It just doesn't feel like a real, it doesn't feel like a real bedroom. No house as big as this would be normal. It's not housing at all. It's not warm. I mean, I don't know. Did that chatters will call you the Drake of streaming? Chatters have no, for Twitch streams, a lot of Twitch watchers have no frame of reference outside of Twitch, so they do literally think I'm like as rich as Jeff Bezos or live in similar circumstances to Drake. Like they don't think about it. Nobody lives in this house. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like one thing that you guys know about my living situation is that like I always have, like I have currently in this house 2 rooms that we've turned into studios beyond this supposed to be living room space that is my studio, right? And outside of that, there's my bedroom and 2 extra bedrooms upstairs. They are always full. Like there's always people here. There's always people staying with me. And I feel like, you know, there's family members staying with me. There's always people coming in and out. And I feel like he has so much space that I don't know what he would do with all that space. Like there's no way. He probably has like 15, 16 bedrooms, I suspect. Right? We need a guest says you have a normal house compilation. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. The point is, would you ever let a fan stay at Hotel Piker? No. What the fuck are you saying? No, of course not. No, random people cannot stay at my house. What is happening? Elon Musk responded to a post about you? Oh, God, I hope not. That's gross and weird. Oh, he did. Oh, God. Oh, God. With 169. Ay, ay, ay. Well, it only got 700 likes. Don't elevate it further. I think everyone's forgotten that he posted his Insta stories, Mommy Milker's anime. Drake's 4,000-pound bathtub delivery. Yeah, they made like whole ass videos about the construction of his house. From the outside, it looks kind of sick. But I feel like the inside of the house is not so sick. Does that make sense? We've watched this before. In Atlanta, his grandfather lives at one of his houses, which is funny because weirdos on Twitter rip you for not donating all of your wealth to socialist causes, but let people stay in your house all the time to the point where I don't even understand how you have any alone time. I don't mind having no alone time. I like it. Drake's mattress cost $395,000. We spoke to the owner of Hastings, Los Angeles about what makes the Grand Vividis so special. Drake's affinity for luxury was on full display in the most recent Architectural Digest cover story. The OVO rapper gave fans inside a look of his 50,000. His house is 10 times the size of mine. In his hometown of Toronto, showing off lavish amenities and features such as the 20,000-piece Swarovski crystal chandelier, full recording studio, and an NBA regulation-sized indoor court. That part is fire. I think every rich person should have an NBA regulation-sized indoor court, and then they should let me play basketball there on rainy day. Up. Don't even think about moving. I think that's like a thing that should happen. I that's my point. An indoor swimming pool and an awards room, but one of the most notable pieces in Drake's not so humble abode was nearly his $400,000 custom bed. The bedroom is where I come to decompress from the world at the end of the night, where I open my eyes to seize the day. This bed lets you float. Dubbed Grand Vividis, the 400-gram bed was produced by Hastings, a fifth-generation family-owned Swedish bed maker with more than 350 locations worldwide. The company has become a favorite among celebrities with high-profile figures who are willing to shell out at least 15 grand for a highly coveted Hastings mattress. Linus Edelson, the co-founder of VRT Ventures and owner of Hastings Los Angeles, spoke to Complex about this ultra-luxe beds and explained why, in some cases, they can cost more than a house. Edelson, well, not anymore, don't worry. Adelson said each Hastings mattress is intended to last between 50 and 100 years. Bro, who is sleeping on the same mattress for 100 years, dude? The human lifespan doesn't last that long. What are you going to do, share a mattress?
Faris Rafaoli.
That's crazy. So how many springs, how many turns? Expensive is the last thing is layers of horsehair. I heard Hasanabi has 3 of these mattresses and he doesn't even use them. Yeah. It's just bananas. Oh my God, what is this man wearing? Oh my God, look at this fit. Bro, you sell mattresses, homie. Why do you look like a villain? This doesn't make any sense. You're a mattress salesman. Why do you look like a henchman, dude? I want my look at my mattress salesman, dog. I want him to look like he's selling me cocaine, okay? You skip the part where they send people to flip your mattress and massage it? What? Oh, it's actually ironic because mattress business is like filled to the brim with mafia guys and is basically a fake business. You are right. You're actually not wrong. A lot of the mattress businesses are owned and operated by like shady illicit business owners that are using it as a front. I did forget about that, but like I wouldn't expect this guy to be like that. He does look like a level 100 boss. This dude is buying VIP tables at One Oak and banging models. Yeah. Oh, he's the architect of the house? That actually does make sense if this guy is just the architect of the house because he looks like the house. Don't even think about it. His fit looks exactly like the vibes of the house. God, it's so ugly. Anyway, whatever. Let's just, yeah. Have you seen the, thank you. Have you seen the OVO inspired Rolls-Royce?
Rolls-Royce makes some of the world's most luxurious cars. Known for producing handcrafted automobiles that promise a seamless magical carpet ride for its customers, a Rolls-Royce car does not come cheap. These are some of the best-selling Rolls-Royce models, and these are their entry-level prices. But with virtually unlimited optional extras, upgrades, and customizations, the true cost of a bespoke Rolls-Royce has no limit.
Drake's house looks like a cheesecake factory. I can't explain it. No, I think it's more like a P.F. Chang's. It's like, you're right though. Like you're on the money. It looks like a franchise, like a maybe higher level franchise than like it's not an Applebee's, right? Like it looks more like a P.F. Chang's because it's like it's higher level than Applebee's, right? But it's also not like there's still an air of like copy pastedness to it. A boutique hotel vibes. I don't know why. It just doesn't look like a home at all.
In fact, Rolls-Royce refuses to even discuss its base prices.
There isn't really a specific base price which we would just discuss because it really depends on each customer as an individual and the bespoke options which they like to design and develop with our bespoke team.
So what are some of these bespoke extras? And is that what makes Rolls-Royce so expensive?
One of the first obvious starting points probably is the colour. We have a palette of 44,000 plus colours. We replicate people's
44,000 plus colors? What the hell?
Something from your house.
I didn't even know there was that many colors, dog. How many colors are out there? I feel like at a certain point you got to run out of colors.
Something your own, something you've seen. Even we've done the dog of an owner, a red setter. So we exactly replicate them, whether it be by the DNA, the chemistry, or whatever. For us, it's unique. It'll be registered as your color, and you can give it a name, and it's yours. And if someone else has seen it and wants to use that exact finish, we have to go to that person and ask their permission. When we go to the paint shop, you'll see it's called the Surface Finish Center, because it's a bit of an insult to say we're painting the car. It's more than that. You're going to have at least some layers of coat. There's primers, there's base coats, there's color, and unusually we put on 2 clear coats of lacquer. But you could.
My cousin plays for the CBA and bought a Rolls-Royce. What is CBA? I drove it for a bit and it's so shit, lol. I don't think I've ever been inside of a Rolls-Royce or driven a Rolls-Royce, but I mean, I have a nice car. CBA's Canadian basketball. You make money like that in Canada? You can fucking buy a Rollie? Buy a Rolls-Royce?
We have up to 23 layers of coating, which we've done before, equating to about 45 kilograms in weight just of coat.
In addition to the endless variations of colour, Rolls-Royce customers can infuse their paint with materials to create special effects.
Cum! That's the cum paint! Oh my god!
Of colour.
That's... what? That's crazy. They're like, hey, you know someone has done that. You know someone has done that. You know someone's come inside the paint. That's crazy.
Rolls-Royce customers can infuse their paint with materials to create special effects. One particularly wealthy customer went one step further, requesting the addition of 1,000 diamonds.
Wanted a bit.
Bro, this shit should be illegal. Public transportation is the way to go, says Anarcho Junkie. The way I see it is this. Are you ready for this? I think this is basically the same energy of like, I don't know, having like an interest that is within your means, but like played at the literal highest price point that you can arrive at. Okay? Rich socialists take incoming. No, like, I mean, for the person buying a car like this, it's like you buying a Funko Pop if that's what you like. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I think it's insane. It is obscene, especially with the price points that it's at. I don't care if Rolls exists. You just can't have $200 billion is a big difference, lol. Exactly. Like, people point to this and go, dude, this is actually the problem. This is not the actual problem. The actual problem, or an infinitely larger problem, is the fact that American car standards have turned into like mini tanks that ruin roads, and you can't even fucking see little children walking past you. The real problem is that the F-150, which is a ginormous tank, is the most popular vehicle in the United States of America. The real problem is that auto manufacturers have been able to very successfully create legislation that punishes pedestrians and makes it seem as though the roads are supposed to, even inside of big cities, belong to the car drivers. A big part of the problem is also the very same industry turning around and absolutely doing everything they can to destroy public transit. In a world where there is like all matter of public transit, like there is no, I'm not like abolishing this shit, okay? I will never purchase something like this. It's fucking nutty. I don't understand why people do it. I assume for the people that buy this, they are the ones who, like, for them, the purchasing of this thing is basically the same as like someone like myself at my level of wealth buying something expensive. Hey, buying something that's like $2,000, right? Or for the normie, for the average normie, like someone going in and purchasing, I don't know, something for like $200, $300, $400, $500. Does that make sense? Like someone buying like a Gucci belt or a Steam Deck. Exactly. Except the Steam Deck has a fuck ton more utility than this. So that's like something I ride for. I feel like the more expensive items get, the less utility they have, because you arrive at a Veblen good, right? Because the Steam Deck is a $700 piece of machinery that you will get a tremendous amount more utility out of than a fucking Rolls-Royce that has like market substitutes that are infinitely cheaper. Because you're not buying the Rolls-Royce specifically to have as your daily driver. This is the type of car that most people, I think, buy when they already have like 3 cars. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would be more like buying an old-ass sealed and rated video game, yeah. But then something better will come out in like 2 years and then you have to spend another $700. Fair. But there is no status symbol to like purchasing a Steam Deck. Anyway, I don't understand this kind of thing at all. And I'm trying to make sense of it from the perspective of like minor luxuries that everyone, if you were to like price adjust it, what would be a minor luxury that someone who makes like $120,000 a year living in a big city, like what would they purchase? You don't buy a Rolls-Royce to drive, you buy one to be driven in. I guess that too, but like, it's just, you know what it is? I think Rolls-Royce is very nouveau riche. It strikes me as like the Philip Plein of cars. It strikes me as the what's that really ugly watch company that I hate with the big face watches? Not Rolex. No, no, not Patek Philippe. Richard Mille. No, not Hublot. No, Richard Mille. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Richard Mille. I feel like it is ugly. It's a Veblen good. It's a power status moment. You're purchasing it to showcase your level of wealth, I guess. No, Maserati is the Philip Plein of cars. Fair. But Philip Plein's price point makes it the Rolls-Royce, I think. And Rolls-Royce is the most old money car in the universe? Yes. This part is also true. However, new Rolls-Royces are not like that at all. I feel like a Rolls-Royce that you purchase with this level of customization options, you are doing specifically for the uniqueness of it, right? Whereas old school Rolls-Royces are kind of sick, but they were more streamlined. You know what I mean? You know who had a Rolls-Royce? Fucking Lennon. I agree. Lennon did have a Rolls-Royce. My king. Happy birthday. Right? Isn't this day his birthday?
More sparkle in the finish. So it gave us a bag of diamonds. We crushed them. They were infused into the paint.
That's insane, bro. So many better ways to use your money, like purchasing a top of the hour ad break here to avoid the top of the hour ad break that comes at the top of every hour. It's 3 minutes long. Or even gifting people a subscription so you can share in on the fun that they can have with an uninterrupted broadcast experience. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. It's a fun day. Calm like a Tom. Thank you for the 10 gift to subs. Factory Candy, thank you for the 5 gift to subs. Sakura Gore, thank you for the 10 gift to subs.
Remarkably, the detailed paintwork on Rolls-Royce cars is done by hand by
It's not his birthday, it's his death day.
just one person.
My name is Mark Court and I am the coach liner for Rolls-Royce Motor Cars. A coach liner means that I am able to put this pinstripe
Kathleen is thank you for the 5 gift to subs.
onto the side of the car. The uniqueness is the fact that I do it completely freehand.
Sorry, this is Lennon's
and
death
I'm
day.
the only one within Rolls-Royce that can do this. That's like worldwide within the Rolls-Royce BMW group. So the brushes I use is made of squirrel hair. We found that most brushes nowadays are man-made, and which tends to leave brush marks within these lines. This is a natural hair. This natural hair tends to leave no marks at all. So we work to one standard, which is the highest standard. So we use one that leaves no brush marks at all.
That's not the accent I would expect from someone who paints bespoke luxury cars. What? He's a fucking worker, mate. What you mean? I mean, I guess maybe it's because I just like don't appreciate cars that much. Like, I guess this is another, like my closest association to this kind of thing would be fashion. Like, I respect the craftsmanship of fashion and the amount of effort and work and the history that's put into the craft. And I think it's like another form of expression. But then again, also, I don't know. I just, it just feels ugly. I don't know why. I don't get the same thing from the Rolls-Royce.
And if customers without a coach line decide to add one to their car, Mark is on hand to travel worldwide with his paintbrush.
As
That's
normal,
sick.
with Rolls-Royce, Rolls-Royce never comes back to us. We go to it. So if it's in Dubai, so be it. That's where I have to go.
You libtards trying to put down the everyman for liking Rolls-Royce? No, first of all, in this community, I don't think there's a single person that's like, oh, my Rolls-Royce is sick. It's more so that it's not supposed to be a everyman, but I'm sure there's like people who love cars that probably could make a better argument as to why this is like a sick vehicle or something. And they're doing a decent job of showing why it's like, as expensive, I guess.
There are several unmistakable features of every Rolls-Royce exterior. The handmade...
Liking cars is sus, unironically. Car guy here, rolls are genuinely dog water. Dude, the thing is, I saw a guy who went to a dealership that does like barn cars in California, and that was sick. Like, they're selling old ass Porsches there that are like 50 grand, right? They're selling old ass cars there. There was a car that they were selling that was from literally World War II, and it had like the veterans like Marine Corps jacket in the back. That shit is fire, okay? That stuff is fire. If you could like actually drive that around normally, it would be sick.
Pantheon grille, the self-righting wheel centers that ensure the RR logo is never rotated, and the Spirit of Ecstasy ornament. In fact, in 2003, BMW paid $65 million to acquire the rights to the Rolls-Royce name, symbol, and the Spirit of Ecstasy. But it's inside the car where luxury and cost dramatically increases. To create a virtually silent ride, Rolls-Royce adds approximately 300 pounds of acoustic insulation around the cabin. Its tyre manufacturer, Continental, even developed special foam-filled tyres, which reduced the noise of the road by 9 decibels. The results were so profound that Rolls-Royce removed some soundproofing to avoid causing acoustic sensory deprivation. The dashboard of the Rolls-Royce Phantom can even become a bespoke art gallery. Customers have commissioned artists to produce all sorts of designs for this space, including this gold-plated, 3D printed stainless steel installation that replicates the customer's DNA profile. Another shining feature of Rolls-Royce is the Starlight headliner, an intricate series of fibre optic roof lights that recreate the night sky.
It takes up to 16 hours to build the Starlight headliners. We're starting by drilling it, and we perforate every single hole to thread fibre optic through every single hole. We've got up to 1,340 holes. We're doing this to achieve the stars that are on the sky. So we're going to have the sky in the night covered with stars.
As with all things Rolls-Royce, customers can create bespoke starlight designs, including randomly generated shooting stars. One customer even had their design matched to exactly replicate the constellation of stars from the night they were born. The embroidery on the upholstery is also tailor-made.
How much do you think these people make? I think the guy that like actually paints the Rolls-Royce is like such a unique artisan that he probably could afford a Rolls-Royce if he wanted to, and most likely has a Rolls-Royce. Like, I don't think that guy himself is like, I think that guy probably is like, bro, he said he's the only person on the planet. I highly doubt that dude is alienated from his labor, I guess. I mean, he is alienated from his labor because he's working, obviously, for another company, but he's a wage laborer, but his alienation from his labor at that point is like much more limited than like the factory worker that's like putting the fucking windshield on the car. So, no, there's definitely some Asians that can do that on the cheap too. What do you mean? The average Rolls-Royce salary ranges from approximately 47 grand per year for team leaders, 137 per year for engineering manager. Average Rolls-Royce hourly pay ranges from approximately 18.26 an hour for project manager, 27. Yeah, that guy is not a machine operator, brother. They fly him around the world. Also, one thing you will find out in a lot of like the luxury brands and whatnot, the irony is that like a lot of, this isn't the same for all brands, but like many of these places, like they have ironically better working conditions than like the cheaper manufacturers too. So there is that as well. Like a good example of this is like Porsches being made in Germany. Like they're being made by workers that are heavily represented. They have the legal board representation. They have like, I think 51% control over the entire company. And obviously that gets like convoluted and certainly is not as like, I'm explaining it in a very reductive way, but it's like still a very expensive, it's a very expensive car company. Cost cutting isn't an issue when you have wealthy patrons. Well, the point is, they're still most likely not getting the same output. I mean, they're still getting underpaid in comparison to what their output is, right? Why aren't you talking about the Isha scandal? What the hell is Isha? Like, what do you mean? Why am I not talking about the Isha scandal? Isha D's nuts? What does that mean? That doesn't even work. Like that makes no sense. Oh my God. People are saying fucking got him. What? Guys, you should have said suck on Isha D's nuts is like a little bit better. When you say Isha D's nuts, it doesn't make sense. It just sounds like nothing. You should have said, put Isha these nuts in your mouth or something. You know what I mean? Like each of. That would have been a little bit better. Just saying like Isha these nuts, like what am I doing with the nuts, right? I didn't get owned. No, I think you guys should be, your expectations should be higher. Okay? Your expectations should be higher. You have the soft bigotry of low expectations for fellow chatters. You don't want to aim higher. It's fine. You got humbled, Isha. Yeah, you owned me. I did.
To the customer's design choice.
You're talking to the poop sock community? Yeah, I know. I literally have to I just pre-block Aphex Fizzy now. Every day he just does the same thing. I don't know why. It's very odd. Like he will just be like, hey, have you seen this news story? And it's a wet fart sound compilation. And it's like, I'm not clicking on it. Like your name immediately implies you're going to fucking bait me now. I have no trust in you anyway. Like that's bad. You complain when you don't get a high ad rating, but actually we were trying to not let you give us bad segues. Sorry, I agree.
Choice.
So there's no real standard process that's repeated with embroidery just because every single design is completely unique to the customer. It's not just a case of scanning in an image, turning it into embroidery. Every single aspect of the image is thought out. The different angles of the stitch will reflect the light in a different way.
Why are you not talking about the Ligma protest? What's a Ligma protest? This guy's not even giving it to me. What the fuck? God damn, bro. Do it! Do it! Fuck, this guy. Dude, he's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's ruining. I forgot. Oh, no! 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 Okay, let's
so rather than it just being a flat image, we're trying to bring it out to that next level. So it's almost three-dimensional, like a hologram effect that you can get from
like a hologram.
The most complex embroidery project Rolls-Royce has completed is this special Rose Phantom model, which consists of 1 million individual stitches.
The Rose Phantom is the biggest embroidery we've done to date. We'll have to map out exactly what order we're putting all those embroideries onto the leather so that they all join up to match some of the stitching. There's no tolerance, it can't be out by a millimetre, otherwise it's completely written off. Just take a small aspect of the Rose Phantom. It's a good example of the development of one of the butterflies. What seems relatively simple in like an image actually becomes very complex for embroidery. So for the Phantom Rose headliner, there's a few techniques that we hadn't used before. Because of the scale of the Rose headliner, we had to break it down into individual elements. So each individual butterfly, the flower heads themselves, and then all the vines and leaves. So you can see here, it's basically different layering of different colored stitches in different densities. And by building those...
I thought this was going to be Drake's Chrome Hearts Phantom. That's why I clicked on this. Have you ever ridden in a Rolls-Royce? No, I have not. I've been in a bunch of supercars, though. Like, you know, I just have never been in a Rolls-Royce. All of this, Ethan had a Rolls-Royce, yeah, but he didn't like it, right? I thought he, like, sold his to get a Taycan, which he does like. Anyway... Yeah, Drake's mansion is gaudy, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. I like that we just like skipped into like all these different places. But the major thing that I wanted to talk about today, of course, was supposed to be Little Rhonda before we moved on to some fun stuff. Little Rhonda has unfortunately ended his campaign. Folks, Ron DeSantis has dropped out of the presidential race and endorsed Donald Trump. The Florida governor, who once appeared to be Donald Trump's most daunting challenger, ran a costly, turbulent campaign that failed to catch on with Republican voters. And for me, I think the funniest reason why he lost the shot that he had was because he never had it. He never had it at all. He never had it. He got carried in Florida, barely defeating a dude who was then later outed as a guy who was doing meth with a gay prostitute in Fontainebleau. And then he also went up against another guy who was like, profoundly uncharismatic as well. And it turns out he absolutely got carried by Donald Trump. In the words of Donald Trump, he got carried by him. Donald Trump was right. And now he's gone. Why is he gone? Because he was so awful. Every moment that he seemingly appeared on camera was another disaster. Okay? He went after the king. Okay? He went after Mouse. And you can't do that. Mickey has got shooters. Mickey destroyed him. He was like stuck over correcting, trying to be like the nerdy Donald Trump, losing sight of something that I mentioned a million times over, which was that the culture wars are supposed to be fought on the boundaries as a distraction, and you should never actually use a culture war phenomena to, you should never follow through on the culture war and actually go and hurt the bottom line of capital. You're missing the point. And he did that. He did that while simultaneously being the least likable person, the most no riz having ass, absolutely destroying his chances. The media propped him up. The institutional Republicans decided this is our guy, not realizing that Donald Trump's charisma is the major reason, and his capacity to read the room was his major reason for his success. Donald Trump is the Barack Obama for white racists, okay? A big part of Donald Trump's appeal is his riz. And Ron DeSantis had none of that, okay? So check in on Nick Merckx. Hopefully his goat. I mean, I know that this was his goat. I know that he's probably suffering right now, but I hope he's doing all right. But Mr. DeSantis' devastating 30 percentage point loss to Mr. Trump in the Iowa caucuses last Monday had left him facing a daunting question. Why keep going? On Sunday, he provided his answer acknowledging there was no point in soldiering on. Let's take a look at his 4-minute video. His campaign, remember, started off on Twitter as a massive failure, and his campaign is departing on Twitter, also in a massive failure. Let's take a look.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq, to representing the people in the U.S. Congress, and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who have been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices
he wants political indoctrination, obviously.
are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated. The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense.
Bro, just stop being governor of Florida for like a year to do this fail campaign? Yeah. Which is what Florida deserves, honestly. Because, like, when has Florida had a good governor, chat? The guys that came before Ron DeSantis, like you have, what's his face? You have the Lizard Man, Voldemort. You know what I mean? Like, Jeb Bush. Like, think about it this way. Lizard Man, Rick Scott, okay, who's I think currently the treasurer of the Republican Party, okay? He became president, or not president, sorry. He became governor of Florida after he was made famous for doing the largest Medicare fraud in the history of the United States of America. Like, Florida looked at that guy and went, that's my guy. Okay? Think about that. So it's just like, it's just a very silly little place. People are so stupid. Yeah, and he won re-election with a 70% disapproval rating. So you cannot make sense of Florida, okay? You just can't.
To pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline. That is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope, that decline is a choice, and that we can, in fact, succeed again.
Remember when he went to Japan for absolutely no discernible reason other than to, like, I guess, act like he has foreign policy chops? That should have been our first indication that he's just like, you know, he wasn't cut out for this. You know what I mean? Like, that literally should have been our first answer, that he was just not he was not making it. Okay.
Again, as a nation, nobody worked harder.
Yeah. And then did this.
I'm not a candidate, so we'll see if and when that changes.
Like, come on, dog. Look at this bobble-headed motherfucker, bro. Look at this. Look.
Not a candidate, so we'll see if
Yeah, it's just, I'm not a candidate. Just so bad. Just so freaking bad, dude. Yeah, somehow, some way, this wasn't enough to win Ron, Iowa. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
And we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed.
So lame. So incredibly lame, dude. I mean, he also personally had no smoke. Had absolutely zero smoke for Donald Trump early on, and only towards the end did he open up on him. And even then, he did a horrible job at opening up on him. He just sucked.
Signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting America...
And now he is literally... Okay, here's what's really interesting about this. He's endorsing Donald Trump, right? Which is not interesting because he's a massive cuck, and he thinks that if he were to have a career in the Republican Party, he needs to kiss the ring. Not realizing that Donald Trump, if he doesn't like you personally, will fuck you regardless, like he did with Mitt Romney and also Christopher Christie, right? So all of that stuff will not change his future in the Republican Party. But here's the major point. The Republican mega donors recognized Trump's volatility as an issue. So the Republican Party set up a separate conference while CPAC was going on so that they could beef up Ron DeSantis. This was a big threat for Trump. Like, I mean, he's losing. That meant that all of the real institutional Republican Party defenders that control all the instruments of power within the Republican Party, from the think tanks to all of these like different groups that, you know, mobilize voters and whatnot, like all of that was supposed to go to Ron DeSantis. Okay? That's a big problem for Donald Trump. They propped him up as the guy who will defend the Republican Party, who will keep it together. Okay? Because a lot of people saw Donald Trump as too volatile, and also understandably saw the midterms as a major stain on Trump's reputation. Okay? They saw Trump-style candidates lose all around the country, and there's truth to that, because Trumpian politics, unfortunately, does not make for a good national campaign. Now, Trumpian politics changes over time. At the time, in the midterms, Donald Trump was still not shutting the fuck up about January 6th or how the election was stolen from him and yada, yada. It had gotten very boring. It had gotten very stale for the American public. You don't really hear about him speak on those things as much anymore. You also had the anti-trans narrative being like the major culture war issue for the Republican Party, which also failed. Right? Nobody gave a shit. So, Ron DeSantis was supposed to be the guy that galvanizes the base. except he was profoundly uncharismatic. And what happened after? He had bad political instincts, followed the Christopher Rufo methodology that actually caused the Republicans to have terrible gains in the midterms, like underperform in comparison to the projected expected outcomes of the midterms. So terrible instincts, no charisma whatsoever. The Republican Party's elites that want to keep the party intact recognized that maybe Ron DeSantis isn't the guy. So, in a last-ditch effort, they tried to mobilize behind Nikki Haley. You saw the Koch brother pull support from Little Rhonda and point in Nikki Haley's direction. Now, I personally believe that will be a failure as well, of course. But this failure for Ron is entirely in his hands. He had everything lined up for himself. And he had horrible political instincts and even worse charisma. And that is why every single time he appeared on camera, his popularity got worse. Ron did worse than Bloomberg money-wise. Ron DeSantis spent $150 million, okay, and only got 23,420 votes. That's $6,400 per vote, a record failure by a factor of 10x. Michael Bloomberg only spent like $450 per vote, the biggest dumpster fire in the history of presidential politics. To be fair, you're comparing it to a caucus that was sparsely attended, I would say. I think the caucus numbers were really, really low too, which I haven't really been able to make up my mind on what that means. I don't know if it was just because it was cold, but it does show me that spending $150 million in Iowa and then barely getting second place with like a couple percentage points over Nikki Haley, who did not spend that kind of money, is really, 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 really bad. It shows me that the Republican Party, which used to focus on winning, has also gotten kind of callous and maybe a little bad at politics because the Democratic Party gives them everything they want anyway. So I feel as though the Democratic Party is like slowly moving in the direction of like the normal Republican constituency more and more, like winning out the educated white voters in suburbs that historically just want tax cuts and want to vote for the Republican Party, but don't want all of the stink associated with the crazies, the abortion kooks, and the because there's a smell to it, okay? There's a smell to the Republican Party base. You know how I make fun of anarchists for being crusty and not taking a shower? The Republican bases support the white evangelicals. They mobilize aggressively, but they are stinky, okay? They have a grossness associated with their passion, both for the issues that they defend, the issues that they're passionate about, but also in the way that they fucking defend it. You ever see a group of anti-abortion protesters? They're gross. They're insane. You ever see a group of anti-trans people? They're gross. They're insane. They're talking about children's genitals all the goddamn time. No one in the suburbs that has like anything above a high school education wants to be around people like that. Okay? And Ron DeSantis leaned into that a lot more than Trump did. Okay? Which is interesting. So the real question is, will Trump be able to win those guys back, at least enough of those guys back into the Republican Party? Let's keep going.
Last of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over. I thank all of our passionate supporters who have stood by us through it all. That we had people volunteer to come.
Bro, he's still doing it. He's still like talking about woke ideology, no more kowtowing. He's like, no, man, you're too online. You're too internet. Trump doesn't do this much. Trump doesn't do this much internet. He doesn't. Like Trump, there's a lot of memes surrounding Trump, but you're not going to catch Trump talking about memes and like talking about woke ideology. It's just like, I think a good turning point for me in the way that I analyze this campaign, obviously beyond like him going way overboard, way above and beyond attacking Disney and all this stuff, was when Trump was speaking to a group of donors and he was like, you know, last time I didn't even talk about the trans issue. Nowadays, I talk about taxes and people go, oh, okay. But I talk about trans people and you go, oh, you're crazy. Like even he recognized that like the audience is a little wild, you know? I think Trump has better instincts than Ron DeSantis in that regard. Trump has better instincts than even the Democrats when it comes to Israel in that regard. He doesn't like Netanyahu. This doesn't mean that he's not going to be inherently more violent than Joe Biden's administration as it pertains to Israel, especially considering that the Abraham Accords is his administration's strategy, which was an abject failure. But Joe Biden looks cucked to Netanyahu right now, like unimaginably cucked to Netanyahu. Trump, I was watching an I-24 broadcast on it. In one of these books, he just very openly says like, oh, here, I'll show you Trump's instincts in comparison to Ron DeSantis.
Revealing.
Here.
It's amazing how strongly people feel about that. You see, I'm talking about cutting taxes. People go like that. Talk about transgender. Everyone goes crazy. Who would have thought 5 years ago you didn't know what the hell it was?
Which is true. He was like way better on the trans issue last time around in the last election cycle than the current Republican Party is. He literally said, I don't care where Caitlyn Jenner shits. If you remember, here's a testament to Ron DeSantis' horrible political instincts for a national campaign. Ron DeSantis' campaign made an attack ad for Donald Trump. This was the attack ad.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
If Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses.
That is correct.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Make America great again.
Psych!
I can't remember my commentary exactly at the time, but I was like, imagine the median voter in Iowa seeing this and then immediately having an aneurysm. One thing I will tell you is if you look at the actual demographics of Ron DeSantis' campaign, he has captivated the youth. It's just that the youth are not fucking voting at all. And if they are voting, they're more likely voting for the Democratic Party. And that's the fucking problem. Okay? Ron DeSantis got the highest percentage of young voters in the Iowa caucus. Did you guys know that? This is what the future of the Republican Party looks like, by the way. This is what the young people that love the Republican Party are advocating for. Nazism. Straight up, griped up Nazi bullshit. My dad literally commented on this and was like, what is this fucking shit? I'm in Iowa. Exactly. This is so stupid. A bunch of fucking weird, griped up 4chan poll losers that he hired for his campaign were cooking up these incredible videos, not recognizing that like the American voter doesn't think this is cool. They think you're a gross shut-in, okay? Like this is made by internet people for internet people. It's so stupid. It's so profoundly out of touch. As I said back then, people that understand these references will never vote. Okay? People that understand these references are the types of motherfuckers who can't go outside. Okay, they just can't. They will perish if they see the sunlight.
I cannot think of anything more horrifying.
It really has shut down drag.
Just produced some of the harshest, most draconian,
like the Humanity Report
laws that literally,
like immediately, it's like, bro, you put him on, like, look, he's great, he's a wonderful guy, right? But you put him on your ad. Are you the one who wore the "Make the Rich Pay" shirt and then posted about being detained in Mexico and getting taxed to pay for your electric equipment? Hypocrite Lamau. Yes, that is me. Only two jerks. The actual tax wasn't a real tax, though. I mean, I don't know if you actually care about the story or not, but it was a fun story. I talked about it quite a bit at the time. He came from a Muslim reply. Yeah, I saw. By the way, this is what he's talking about. This one slapped the other day. So, of course, someone else immediately posted it and reposted it. But someone posted this and was like, landed in Mexico and immediately got detained by customs for having too many pieces of electronic equipment for which they made up a number and forced me to pay taxes on. Yeah, I just saw a post on the Being Libertarian page. Brother, if you're watching the Being Libertarian page, you should be put on a watch list, okay? Sorry. You weren't even mad? Yeah, I thought it was a fun story, but people want to make it so that it's like, yeah, here. Oh, this is my original reaction to the Trump DeSantis ad. All right. I mean, it was extortion. It was not real tax, but libertarians think like all taxes are extortion anyway. But yeah, it's because Elon Musk replied to it with this. Reply under Elon. Should I? Watch list for what? You mean the party that wants to stop wars in the Middle East? What? Yeah, libertarians. Don't tap the glass. What? Don't. He might ban you from Twitter. I'm going to say, come on the show, Elon. At Elon Musk. And then I'm going to post the meme. I'm a little scared. Should I feel like I shouldn't be fucking with this guy. It does scare me a little bit. He is definitely like, it's fun to make fun of him and all, but I do think that it's funny to hear you talk about libertarians with the mustache who wants to lower the age of consent. Yeah. Don't upset the billionaire owner of a media platform. Okay, I posted it. Fuck it. Don't be bitching you're getting death threats and getting weird ass people in here and then do shit like this. I mean, it's fun. I didn't say something that bad. I just said, come on the show. My hair does look a lot better now. Here you go. Explain the joke. Elon Musk is responding to a meme about me. To which I replied with a photo of his baby mama who was on the show in the past. Toksik yaşadı iyi götünü siktin o Türk orospu çocuğunun. Eyvallah. Sik götünü. Amcık ağızlı gelmiş bana burada böyle konuşuyor. Anasını siktiğimin. Usually to pick a Grimes, he may actually say something. Wait, why? You're very poster brain. He blocked you? Who did? He did not block me. Already ratioed? Yeah, of course I already ratioed him. He responded to some like fucking random meme. Nobody gives a shit. Did you watch Kubra on Netflix? No. Did you watch The Curse?
The following.
What do you mean by why? You posted a pic of you and with you and his ex? Well, I'm just showing that, like, you know, I'm willing and able to have a broad variety of opinions on the stream. And saying that, like, I'm open-minded. Also, it's kind of hard. Like, he has a lot of exes and a lot of baby mamas. So, you know, just, do you think he has shooters? Absolutely. What if he agrees? What do you mean? That would be sick. Don't platform the creep, even if you're open-minded. You know, it's really funny that you're saying that, but this will easily reverse the fall off. Do you think he has shooters? No, it won't. But people are so funny, brother. Let's be real, okay? I do think that the idea that like I could ever platform Elon Musk is insane. Okay. All right, let's get back to. I would 100% have him on the show. Grimes be fine with you having that? Okay, dude, you're taking a day off, okay? And hopefully you will be able to reevaluate your worldview even for a brief moment. All right. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're simping at here. Jesus Christ. My man said you can't platform the owner of the platform that I'm on. All right, let's continue with the broadcast. He 100% knows what Twitch is. On what day are you doing some lefty content? Only right-wing ads? What do you mean? Should have added the link to your Twitch? No, I don't care about that. All right. Do you see Joe Rogan's fall for another obvious fake video? Why would you have him on, though? Are you guys stupid? He's literally the richest person on the fucking planet. And he owns X. Why the fuck wouldn't I argue with him? Like, God, please, anyone that says, like, why would you have Elon Musk on the show? What do you mean? To kiss him? Like, what do you think? What do you think is going on? Like, I legitimately don't understand how people operate in this situation. Like, what do you think? It's not like a obscure person. This is a person who is like profoundly influential, you know, unfortunately. What do you mean? Chatter's heart projecting right now. Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't really like. I would 100% have Trump on. Yes, I would love to. Anyway, Patrick Bet David as well. I should go on their podcast. All right, let's keep going. So here is another thing that we were talking about with respect to DeSantis, right? Like he was just like shitting on Donald Trump and shitting on Donald Trump for like being pro-trans. Okay. Well, simultaneously saying like I would be the real transphobic candidate, as though this is like something that single issue voters are looking for. You know? Hey man, I've been a while since I watched the stream. I tuned in since Gaza war. You still cover the war? No, I never talk about it. I never talk about it. Right.
Threaten trans existence.
Congratulations, Ron DeSantis. Mission accomplished. You win.
I personally think that it is, again, like including having Jank on, I personally think that it is a sign that you are too online to post Jank. Much love to Jank, but like my man got what, 2% of the fucking vote in some random California jungle primary. You're having him as like you're putting him up as like a villain when he is not a person that you're positioning yourself against, that is like a person that people know, right? Like if Jank is your op, then you're not cut out to run for president, right? Does that make sense? It's like putting me on there, right? Like if someone running for president posted me and my commentary as like, this is my major op, I would be like, dude, you're on crack. I'm like a fucking idiotic Twitch streamer. What's wrong with you? Aren't you running for the highest office in the fucking in the country, maybe the planet? You are not a serious person. You are an unserious person. It's like potentially having Elon Musk on this stream. At that point, he's platforming me, not the other way around. Do you understand? And it's a showcase that, I mean, it's basically showcasing that it's just like a very unserious, very online group of individuals that he had around himself. No, of course Twitch chat doesn't understand power dynamics. Duh. They're on Twitch. They think everything is like related back to Twitch. Are you crazy? They literally think like I'm actually doing Elon a favor by having him on the stream. Like they have no way of like understanding how broad the world is beyond these boundaries. Anyway, so that like, again, big trouble.
Come to Iowa in the middle of a blizzard to knock on doors and make phone calls touched us dearly. No candidate had more thrown at him, but no candidate had so many committed volunteers and staff.
Yeah, this is another posting of an L, dude. You visited all the counties twice, 239 campaign stops in Iowa, and you barely defeated Nikki Haley, who didn't do any of that. $150 million dumped into Iowa. You barely defeated Nikki Haley. Massive, massive, massive failure.
Finally, I want to thank my wife, Casey, and our kids, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Casey's gone far above.
One of his kids, his name is Mamie? What the
above
hell?
and beyond in her support for our campaign and for our cause. She's not only a great wife and mother, she's a great American who cares deeply about the future of the country that our kids will inherit. Our kids have seen and done a lot on the trail, from playing on the famed Field of Dreams baseball site in Iowa to making their first snowman in New Hampshire. They are one of the reasons we fight so hard for what we believe in. Winston Churchill once remarked that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts.
Yeah, by the way, DeSantis appears to misattribute a quote to Churchill as he drops out of the primary. The International Churchill Society has a long list of quotes that are often wrongly attributed to Winston Churchill, the former British Prime Minister. Turns out, this is one of them, which is pretty funny, that like he is such an abject failure. He is such an abject failure that he couldn't even fucking put a correct Winston Churchill quote. Awesome.
While this campaign has ended, the mission continues. Down here in Florida, we will continue to show the country how to lead. Thank you and God bless.
Huge numbers from the Fearan calendar. We sold out the Fearan pod calendar before we were able to get it all tier ones in the public. Ordering more, and we'll have an update on the Fearan Twitter tomorrow. Sorry, we only ordered 1,000 because honestly, never sold a calendar before. Trying to find a balance enough for everyone to get one that wants one, but also for us not to be stuck with a bunch of calendars. We can't do pre-order or it will delay shipping, so we bulk order and pray. Yeah. John Manila, thank you for the 5 gifted. Do you think Florida fascists are feeling like we did when Bernie suspended his campaign? Probably. The difference is Florida fascists still get what they want with Donald Trump. At least close enough to get, well, like, Ron DeSantis would not deviate from a Trumpian style politics. He would just be less volatile. Okay? The difference between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden is profound. Like, much, much, much greater than the difference between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. Do you understand? I'm so incredibly sad it was sold out. You don't even know. I'm sorry. Florida fascists are hibernating now because it's 50 degrees in Florida and denying climate change because Florida cold. Yeah.
Look, you got the Red Sea, right? Kind of resembles a pinched loaf. Way
Up here at the narrow passageway at the north, you have the Suez Canal. 12% of all global trade happens through the Suez Canal. Down here, you have a country called Yemen, and that's where an armed resistance group called the Houthis have taken control. They're lobbing rockets into the Red Sea, attacking commercial ships, and disrupting.
Have you ever considered adding captions extension to stream? It could be really helpful. Yes, I have done it. It was a massive failure. Some of those captioning programs that I used literally were actually like listening to my microphone even when the OBS was muted and still giving captions. And they were also oftentimes very wrong. So I stopped using it.
The global supply chain. Of course, the United States doesn't like that. The Houthis are disrupting the global economy to protest the genocide in the Gaza Strip, in solidarity with the Palestinians. So what does America do? Well, America sends another aircraft carrier to patrol the seas and enforce the status quo. The Houthis are smart. The Suez Canal is a choke point. The Houthis are doing what the American working class should be doing now, choking the economy, disrupting the supply chain, showing these capitalists and the politicians that they bought who actually wields the power in American society, the working class. The Houthis have demonstrated material power over the economy. This buys them associational power, social and political capital. They are mobilizing other organizations and other aspects of society in their fight against the U.S. empire.
Do you think people talk too much about fashion? Okay, stop. Take 30 seconds off. I know you can train AI to talk like someone. Would you be opposed if a trusted person did something in reverse? What do you mean? We already have an AI. There's an AI for me out there. Okay. I talked about this already, but it's like what they're doing is basically the implementation of a blockade, which is like in a normal world, it's what America would be doing. And therefore would not even need to like lob missiles at anybody because when America says there's a blockade going on, nobody violates it. You know what I mean? And that's it. So Death to Force, thank you for the 5, get the subs. Speaking of little Rhonda's L's, let's finish off with this beautiful one, which is another indication that his campaign was like filled to the brim with extremely online people who are stupid as fuck. Another like Wojak, Soyjak moment from the Ron DeSantis campaign, which also featured some more interesting symbols. This is, dude, if this is your selling point to America, you've completely misunderstood what's going on. As it stands, there isn't enough anti-trans momentum to build an actual sustainable campaign around it. There isn't even enough there is anti-abortion in and of itself is not even enough to, hit the entire market. Like, and trust me, there's a tremendous number more anti-abortion activists out there than there are like anti-trans people. Most people just don't care. So if you're going this hard on trans people, you've lost the plot. You've just lost the plot. And not only that, but also, here's another thing that he did. A little glimpse there. I guess he's, maybe he's just a pro-Ukraine, I think, according to Getty Images. Yeah, that's a black sun. Very popular fascist symbol. You know, just a big black sun fan. Yeah, it could go either direction. You're right. He might just be a Russian private military contractor as well. It goes in either direction in that situation. Yes, it is a obvious neo-Nazi symbol. And as soon as they caught this, they were like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, the guy that made this was on his campaign, chat. The guy that made this was on his campaign at the time. Just what a devastating turn of events for the guy who was supposed to be like the least volatile candidate. The black sun was a symbol actually used in Nazi Germany. Yes. You misunderstand. He's just a big World War II guy. Yeah. So no more debates. I mean, Nikki Haley and Trump are still in it to win it. We'll see what happens, but Trump is currently pulling away from Nikki big time. But yeah, as a testament to Trump's instincts, I wanted to show you something. Donald Trump gave Israel everything Bibi Netanyahu wanted, right? Everything. The black sun is simply a symbol of our freedom from the international Jew, or as you like to call them, Zionists. Good one, man. Thanks, dumbass Nazi. Follow your leader. Follow your leader. Follow your leader. Jews are not a substitute for Zionists at all. There are infinitely more Zionist Christians on the planet than there are Zionist Jews. That's number one. There are infinitely more Zionist Christians in positions of power in the United States of America than there are Zionist Jews. Zionism versus anti-Zionism actually is on the same boundaries for all subsects of society, give or take, in the United States of America. It's a demographic difference. Oh, great racism lore master. My dad's friend has an Iron Cross tattoo. Does it make him a Nazi? He's a biker. I mean, very likely. Yes. Yeah. Death to Forrest, Craggy McWestside. Thank you for the 15. Death to Forrest, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. God damn. Yeah, probably. I mean, he's a biker and an Iron Cross tattoo. I suspect that he is probably a Nazi. Here's the guy who made the DeSantis vid if you want to see him. Yeah, this is the guy.
To us about, issues we care about. So, conservatives need to talk about things like climate change and the environment, and give common.
Honestly, this is like having this guy on your campaign that made the Black Sun thing is like having like Will Stancil run your campaign. You know what I mean? He's just like a Twitter guy. You can't be having these dudes who have no experience whatsoever come in and fucking copy paste 4chan Groyper memes because you think that they're going to be good. Okay? That's crazy. Like the Republican Party used to stand for something. They used to want to win,
sense conservative solutions to those issues rather than just denying they exist, because people my age care about those issues. But that doesn't mean that the Republican Party just has to become liberal, because they can still be pro-life, they can still be pro-gun rights, they can still be pro-America, they can still be pro-freedom, and people my age really resonate to that. So it's complicated, but Republicans can do.
It worked for 2016. Why wouldn't it work this time? It worked for 2016. You think Trump won with memes? Guys, please never make this analysis in here ever again, especially if you're a 57-month subscriber. How many times have I talked about this? Oh my God, dude. You've been in here for 57 months. That's like you've avoided every ad break at the top of the hour and the middle of the hour ad break for 57 months. At a certain point, you must have heard by accident that I've like criticized this narrative that like Nazi memes are the reason why Trump won the election is a ridiculous narrative. Okay? That's crazy, dog. Plus, it's not like Trump made the memes himself. Others made the memes on him, but those memes are not the reasons why he won. I mean, this is like one of the most talked about disastrous elections of all time. The memes had no basis on this. Yeah, if you think like suburban wine moms, 52% of white women voted for Trump. Do you think that was because people saw Kekistan flags made by like the fattest agoraphobic loser you've ever seen in your entire fucking life? You think that's the reason? Like, really? Like the scraggliest beard of all time. And you think like the wine moms voted for that. Chatter watched The Boys Season 2 on Amazon Prime Video and thought it was a documentary. I don't know. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. All right. So, like, memes don't play a role in winning campaigns at all, okay? That's not a thing. Like, that's not a real thing. Please don't think that. Please. Please. Says you who never won a campaign. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not a chicken either. I know how to make a fucking omelet, though. I'll make the best goddamn scrambled eggs you've ever tasted in your goddamn life. Give us your talking points and narrative tree for why he won / will win. Donald Trump won in 2016 because Hillary Clinton was a despised figure at a time when everyone was disassociating with the elites. They despised the elites. Hillary Clinton personally was a great demonstration of like bi-coastal elitism in the country, both in the way that she carried herself and with her track record. They saw her as a corrupt candidate. She also did not go to key states that she should have visited. Okay? Donald Trump ran a better campaign than Hillary Clinton. He read the room better and also utilized the fact that he was an outsider underdog, which he wasn't really. He was neither an outsider nor an underdog, but he was able to present himself as such and did a phenomenal job with that. Okay? That's it. I watched 2016 debates and look back, and Hillary's so uncharismatic in her speeches. Yeah. Also, Hillary Clinton's failed strategy of Pied Piper was a part of the reason as to why she lost. She thought that Trump would be the weakest out of all of the Republicans. And so they propped him up in the primaries. There was endless coverage. That coverage also was very fascinating because ultimately Trump is very good at being telegenic and keeping people, getting people to pay attention to him. He's a TV guy. Celebrity since the 80s, one of the most diverse TV shows with the most diverse audience of all time. Okay, at a time when it did not even exist. Like diverse TV shows with a diverse targeting was not even a real thing. That kind of stuff has staying power. That was another factor as well. For sure. Also, the FBI announcement saying they were looking into Hillary Clinton's campaign one more time, one week before the election, played a role too. That was definitely an issue. There was a lot of parts. But the idea that she was, the idea that it was like Russia or memes are laughable. All right. Now let's talk about Trump's instincts, like I said, because here is our current president who is like a bit of a zealot when it comes to Israel, not being able to read the room and look at the expectations that at least the Democratic Party's base or just the broader American population have as it pertains to Israel.
Mr. President, is a two-state solution impossible if Bibi's in power? If Bibi's in power?
Is the former president trying to derail negotiations on Ukraine and the border?
So Brandon's response to this was something along the lines of like, oh, no, Jack.
I'd ask him.
Are you going to reconsider conditions on Israel aid given what Netanyahu said about a one-state?
I think we'll be able to work something out.
What does that mean?
There are a number of types of two-state solutions.
There's a number of types of two-state solutions.
Of countries that are members of the UN that are still don't have their own military. A number of states that
he said there's a bunch of UN countries that don't have their own
have
military.
limitations on it. And so I think there's ways in which this could work.
But Bibi has said he's opposed to any two-state solution.
He didn't say that.
So what is he open to?
I'll let you know.
Did you talk about it this morning?
So, I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu literally said no to a two-state solution openly, very publicly. And then yesterday, Biden was asked about it, and before this video even came out, or no, around the same time that this video came out, he very publicly said, no, you guys don't understand. He likes the two-state solution. I promise. We'll make him like it. And then Netanyahu posted this in Hebrew. I will not compromise on full Israeli security control over the entire area of west of Jordan, and this is contrary to a Palestinian state. Which is like that's it, bro. He's saying, and he is doing this specifically to say, fuck you to Joe Biden. I need you to understand something. Joe Biden did the bear hug strategy. He went into Israel right after October 7 and bear hugged him. He bear hugged Benjamin Netanyahu. Why did he do this? That was to show the world we're with you 100% of the way. Benjamin Netanyahu does not give a shit about Biden. Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't care. Biden is a bigger supporter of the state of Israel than even Trump is, okay? Like, if we're looking at ideology, Trump cares about himself more than anything else. Of course, he's, supporter of Israel and was a massive supporter of Israel. And, like, part of a major reason why October 7 happened is Trump's actions, whether it be moving the embassy to Jerusalem, fully recognizing Israel as like the sole owner of Jerusalem, massively contested area, which is illegal, by the way, even though Donald Trump decided, no, it's no longer illegal. And then beyond that, obviously the Abraham Accords that completely wrote out Palestinians from the conversation. All of this stuff was massive foreign policy failures that Joe Biden also continued on. Okay. But from the eyes of Benjamin Netanyahu, he likes Trump more. I don't know why, personally, even though I guess, yeah, he recognized Golan Heights too, because Joe Biden is not a squishy lib when it comes to Israel. He is a zealot. Joe Biden is a zealot. He is an ultra-Zionist and has been, okay, for a very long time. So, but from Benjamin Netanyahu's perspective, he doesn't care. Trump is easier to manipulate, is the way he probably sees it. So he doesn't care if this kind of stuff tanks Biden. Do you understand? Because he knows he has unconditional solidarity from Biden. And perhaps if he tanks Biden a lot, Trump will be a little bit nicer to him later down the line. So I think this kind of attitude, this kind of back and forth is actually ruining Biden. It's ruining America's soft power. It's ruining America's influence. It makes it feel like America has an old man running the show, asleep at the wheel. And every time there's this inconsistency that people can see, I think it hurts Brandon's chances. If Joe Biden were to get out there and say, I'm 100% unconditionally pro-Israel, Israel has a right to defend itself, Israel should be able to nuke Gaza, and the Palestinians are dogs, okay, which is what I suspect Trump would say, right? From an American foreign policy perspective, the way that people receive American foreign policy globally, that would come across as, one, more honest, and two, more powerful than this wishy-washy back and forth bullshit that Biden's been doing. Because the wishy-washy back and forth bullshit makes him look weak. Okay? So it's not even pragmatic at this point. Obviously, it's immoral to support Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign, but the way that Biden is supporting Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign is also not even pragmatic. It looks like he's constantly saying, oh, I don't know, like maybe Israel shouldn't do this. And then Israel is doing it undeniably over and over again. And we're giving Israel the weapons to do it while he's trying to basically tackle the issue from both ends. It's not going to work. It makes him look weak because actions ultimately speak louder than words. And there's only so many articles you can write about how Biden is actually, having a soft touch on Israel. Biden is actually doing the soft touch on Israel and it's working really well. Like, it's not working at all. And people can see it. That's it. Now, Donald Trump told Barack Ravid, Axios reporter, in April 2021, Bibi never wanted peace. He just tapped us along, tap, 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 tap. Biden yesterday, Bibi isn't against any kind of two-state solution. It is possible to get it while he's in power. This makes no sense. It makes no sense that Biden is trying to do PR for Benjamin Netanyahu for liberals in America. You're not going to change people's minds, brother. It is so dumb. It's so incredibly stupid. Now, beyond that, we're opening up another front here, which is also really stupid. Okay? Yemen's actions in the Red Sea have been relatively successful in at least stopping Maersk from utilizing the Red Sea. 12% of commerce flows through this area. Okay? Yemen, or the de facto government of Yemen, the Ansarullah administration, which currently controls territories that have almost 90% of the entire population, has said that the reason why they're trying to stop shipping from happening in the Red Sea is because of the ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza. Now, I certainly am not fond of the Ansarullah motto, especially the anti-Semitic parts of it, but overall, what they're doing in this situation is the right thing. I mean, I have asked for a blockade myself, okay? And I stand on that. I've said America should be doing this. I said America should be boycotting until and implementing sanctions to apply pressure to the Israeli government to ensure wait, what? Bro, what?
Damn, this guy's good.